Bum 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 da 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 bum 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 di 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 da 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 bum 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 ay da bum 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 ay da bum 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 da 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 bum 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 da 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 ay 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 ba 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 da 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 oh ba 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 ay da 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 oh ba da 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 ay 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 bam 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 da 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 di da 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 bam 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 da 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 ay 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 di da da Welcome everyone. So great to be back again for another evening where we could really hopefully fly and land and then fly again. With teachings of Sfirat Omer, trying to understand what exactly we're doing here right now. I want to continue learning the Ilui Nishmas Michal Moshe Ze'ev Ben Nassan, and also for the complete Refuah Shlema of Natan Daniel Ben Malka. And there's so much in my heart right now. There's so much going on that I wonder sometimes if it's even like makes any sense to even try to say it in words, to try to say something, because it doesn't come close. You know, sometimes it ever happened to you that when you're really excited to meet someone and you've been thinking about it for a while, and that moment comes when you come before that person and you want to kill yourself before you even say anything, because you know that whatever you're about to say is going to mess you. You're going to sound like an idiot, and you're going to be embarrassed afterwards, and you're going to spend hours afterwards trying to, like, a deep psychological analysis as to why can't you just speak your heart? Why can't you just say what you want to say? So it's nights like tonight that I feel like that. It's not because something crazy happened. It's not because something crazy is about to happen, although it always could. It always could. We know that. Nothing surprises us anymore, which is good and bad. But we're in the midst right now of midterms, right? We're midterms. We're in the middle of Sfirat Omer right now. This is mamish midterms. This is a very special time where it's not like, oh my God, let's, wow, Sfira, what a chidush. I waited all year long. It's more like, oh, I can't believe I blew it on the 8th night, or like, okay, another night of trying to understand what a Sfira means. Or I just want it to be Shavuos already. Still no concerts, like there's a lot of different things that go on right now that are really mamash b'chin of midterms. Like, this is the middle of the formation of the Lev Tov, of forming a good heart. Remember that Lev and Tov, 32 and 72, Tov is 17, is 49. 49 days that we're trying to, what it is we're doing. In the first 32 days is Lev, just remembering that I have a heart. And then the second part, the 17 days, is, and my heart is so good. I have such a good heart. So this is why this time right now, it's like the end of the forming, of the establishing that I have a Lev. I have a heart. And when you come, the more you come to realization of this is that you have a heart, you're a Lev, you're a neshama. So the more it becomes difficult to express in words what that means to you. And every night of Sfirat Omer, we're going more and more towards this world of, eventually I'm going to have to say 2 words on Shavuos. And the whole preparation of 49 days is to be able to say 2 words with utmost conviction. Naaseh v'nishma. Those are the whole preparation of Shavuos, of Sfirat Omer, is so that I could say those 2 words, Naaseh v'nishma. We will do, we will keep it, and we'll spend the rest of our lives understanding what in the world we get ourselves into, right? Naaseh v'nishma. We'll first do it, we'll say, yeah, I'm keeping this, and nishma, and then we'll listen, then we'll hear. So like we mentioned last week, right before Lag BaOmer, we could still spend a little bit of time on focusing on the fact that Rabbi Akiva had to go to 700 funerals a day during this period, which is just completely beyond this world. If you want to tune on people that have an easy time saying, oh, Sfira, it's not such a big inyan of Avelus, we save the morning for the 3-week period. It's not so simple that Rabbi Akiva, the master, Rabbi Akiva, was going to 700 funerals a day till Lag BaOmer. Not a simple thing at all. So the avoda right now is like we're transitioning from thinking about Rabbi Akiva going to these funerals into the day it stops. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is light in the world, And then transitioning then into, okay, now we're mamish on our way. We feel it. We're right there, about to be on Har Sinai. We're going to be talking tonight, Bezrat Hashem Barach, about a beautiful concept, about something that we say right after we benched Sfirat HaOmer. And it's something that you would think that you should say after every single mitzvah that you do, or every bracha that you do. Tying in a piece from Reb Shlomo to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, to our two tzaddikim that we learn from all the time, they should keep on being shining torches in our hearts and our souls forever. We're going to be seeing about the significance of what we say right after the bracha of Sfirat HaOmer. Obviously, we all know what we're talking about. Never forget this. Many years ago, living in Los Angeles, the straightest Rav in the world that you could ever imagine, like what, rulers, not like a ruler of Egypt, but like Sargelim, are made out of. The straightest Rav in the universe comes up to me after Ma'ariv one night. Thought he was going to come and tell me off about something he heard me say, something that I did. He said to me, Shlomo, I think it's appropriate that you make up a nigun for the words. And then he walked away. So I always think about that. When I think, I was like, wow, I still, I don't know, I don't have a nigun for him. Maybe, I'm sure there's a nigun by now. There's a nigun for everything these days, but I'm sure there's a nigun for it. But those words carry within them the secret and the understanding of how precious every day of Sfirat HaOmer is, how precious the whole mitzvah of Sfirat HaOmer really is. But I'll tell you why the reason that I'm having trouble sharing what my heart wants to say. On the one hand, this world is so beautiful. Look at it. Just look in this room. This is the whole world right now, right? Besides our immediate families, this is the whole room right now. This is the whole world. So much the whole world. The world is so beautiful. The world is filled with opportunity, hope, transformation, a beautiful tomorrow. And then on the other hand, we know that there's so much work to do in this world that it just gets sometimes very overwhelming. And I know all the beautiful teachings about how, don't worry, all you got to do is just start. All you got to, like we've been learning the last few weeks here in Shir, about Ezehu Gibor HaKoveshet Yitzro, who is a hero, one who sets battle, he sets up war in order to conquer his own evil and not the evil of the whole world. There's no task, you have no task to conquer the whole evil of the whole world. Your task is to find a little bit of holy evil that's inside of you, conquer it by realizing that it really is nothing but an illusion, like we learned the last few weeks. And then where do you go from there? We want so badly this world to be fixed already. We want so badly to not lose sight of TIKKUN Olam, of Mashiach coming, of the Binyan Beis HaMikdash. We want so badly to not come to terms with the way things are at right now. And it's another cycle in the Jewish year. Coming out of Pesach, leaving Mitzrayim, walking towards Mount Sinai, Bezrat Hashem receiving the Torah. And then what? How many more cycles of trying again are we ready to already say, then even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter, I'll still keep on trying again. One time I was in the Lubavitch shul and I was singing Ani Mamin, B'emunah Shlomo V'yas HaMashiach. And then I started singing the words V'af al pi she'yitmamea im kol za'achak elo v'chol yom she'avo, and all the Lubavitch shut me up. He's like, shh, those words we don't say. We don't say the other, maybe for thousands of years we have to say the whole thing. But those words of V'af al pi she'yitmamea im kol za'achak elo v'chol yom she'avo, that even if it takes time, I'm still waiting. He says, we can't afford to put energy in those words anymore. We have to put everything that we have in the Ani Mami B'emunah Shlomo B'viat HaMashiach. Who gives us, like, it's a weird thing. Obviously, you don't chas v'shalom think that I'm saying right now that I'm here to proclaim to the world that one of the 13 principles of faith of the Rambam, half of it should be, Chas v'shalom. Just saying every generation has to focus on a certain piece. Shlomo said, I think he said that before the 6 million, the dagesh, the emphasis was asay l'charav, make for yourself a rebbe. That's what you have to do. And after the 6 million, the emphasis of that pasuk went on to the second half. What comes after asay l'charav? Uknei lecha chaver, find for yourself one friend. Acquire for yourself one friend. So, I want to give us all a bracha, and I want you to give me a bracha back really, really strong. Really strong. That for the rest of Sfirat HaOmer, we find for ourselves one friend. One friend that him and I, her and I, whoever it is, together, you could focus solely on the first part of the Ani Mamin. That together, you look at each other in the eyes and you say, I'm not willing to lechatchila already, to go into a prayer, already making alternate plans if, God forbid, the first part of the prayer doesn't come true. Because it's a weird thing. It's kind of saying, God, I want it so badly. And if it doesn't work out, don't worry, I'll still keep on hoping for it. It's a heavy achrayut, it's a heavy responsibility that we're taking. And this world is meshuggah. This world is nuts. It's nuts. It's beautiful and it's absolutely off the wall, crazy. Meshuggah. We say every day, we talk about resurrection of the dead and Shmonas v'Tchiyas HaMesim. It's not just a nice figure of speech. We are waiting to be reunited with certain people that left us in this world. It's not like a nice fairy tale concept of Yiddishkeit. In the same Ani Mamins talking about Mashiach, we also have the Ani Mamins that speak about the resurrection of the dead. These are not Dvarim Ba'alma. These are not stam words that we say. They're very, very real. So in this, what I'm trying to share, I hope this is what I mean, because it'd be cool if I could really mean what I'm about to say right now. Like if I really mean it, Alavai, is that like we said when we first started learning, as a slave, there's certain things that I can't dream of. I can't dream of becoming, because it'd be too painful if it didn't happen. And I already know that as a slave, I'm not free enough to dream really big, to work on certain characteristic traits that I know I can't conquer as a slave. But as a free person, and it wasn't my choice to be free, it was God's choice that I'm free, so I could put it on Hashem, and I said, you chose to free me from slavery. You're choosing to give me a Torah. So because I could work on that cheshbon, I say, please let so many of the words that my mouth is uttering so long already, let them stop being in the realm of pretty beautiful theoretical theories, and really, really, once and for all, may big words, big concepts, big ideas become the most realistic thing in my life. The most realistic thing in my life. And if that's not what I believe I could come to, then I have a problem with what I say right after Sfirat HaOmer. So I kind of starting from the end, but that happens sometimes. I was going to end off by sharing the following with you, but I realized it really has to come in the beginning. When I'm not sure that something's going to happen, so I say, I hope it's going to happen. Yehi Ratzon, may it be your will. As a prayer of saying please. But when I'm certain that something's going to happen, how would I word the prayer differently? I would word it with certainty. How do I ask for the Beis HaMikdash after I count Sfirat HaOmer? What are the words that I say? I say, Harachaman, Hu Yachzir Lanu, the merciful one, will return back to us the avoda of the Beis HaMikdash. I receive confidence and certainty that now, after I counted Sfirat HaOmer, I'm certain it's going to happen. And it's not so much please, 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 it's certainty. Harachaman, the all-merciful one, Hu Yachzir, he will restore to us the holy service of the Beis HaMikdash to its place. Bimhera b'yameinu, speedily with our days. I go from the realm of possibility and I transform it to the world of certainty. As free person, that's that in like in a nutshell, that's the whole avoda of a free person. All those things that were just the realm of maybe and I hope, that I'm almost certain about something even before it happens. But I have such certainty. Kind of like the way that we end off the Hodu in Psuket Zimra, I have such certainty in your chesed. I'm going to start dancing out of joy in your salvation, which didn't even happen yet. But like I heard from a really good friend of mine, he told me this when I was dating. Was back a little while, and he said to me, he said, "You want a trick? You want a trick for things to kind of like rush up and for things to happen already? To find the right one?" He said, "Walk around and perform mitzvahs and be an Oved Hashem as if Hashem already sent you your soulmate." And he said, "What's going to happen is that you're going to be filled with so much simcha because you're showing God how certain you are that something is going to happen. You think God's that cruel to still keep your prayers from being answered? Can't be." So we have this midah of bitachon. We've been walking around. Hey, we came back after 2,000 years. It says something about people that trust in good things happening to a people at a certain point. But there's still a big chunk of ourselves and of Am Yisrael which need to tune into the bitachon, the certainty that it will happen. You know, like the whole thing, the whole Mashiach trip, like it's gonna happen. And our whole job in this world is how surprised do you want to end up being when it happens or not? I don't want to be so surprised. I want it to be there. I want to be mamish right there with it. You know, one time old Hasidim were sitting around in Lubavitch years ago, and they were contemplating amongst each other. They were saying, okay, so what did the Baal Shem Tov actually mechadesh? What did he, like, what was his chiddush? Like, Yivdu Hashem b'simcha? David HaMelech said that thousands of years ago. What was his chiddush? They were thinking about it for a while. And until they came to the conclusion, they said, you know, the Baal Shem Tov's chiddush was that it really is so. That all those things that I wish to be true really are true. That's his whole chiddush. You know, I'll try to give a personal example to share with you what I think that story means. 2 weeks ago, and for the Cherva and Chutz La'aretz, they read it last Shabbos, we learned about the avoda of the Kohen Gadol going into the Kodesh Kodashim on Yom Kippur, the high priest going into the Holy of Holies and the holiest day of the year on Yom Kippur, in the beginning of Parashat Achrei Mot. So right before Shabbos, I was in such a need for a boost. It was one of those Friday afternoons where you could see that Brother Satan's working triple time and everything that can go wrong and more is going wrong. And all you want to do is just come to shul, say Lechadodi with simcha, and not like just be like, thank God I made it through another week, but to actually be excited about things. I get an email right before Shabbos from a friend, and he writes me, he says, we just found a few minutes of audio that is going to blow your mind. So I put it on, and it's an old recording of Reb Shlomo strumming the guitar, singing the Kriyas HaTorah in the tune of Yom Kippur. It's a different tune than we do in the Parsha, right? Singing the avoda of the Kohen Gadol, going into the Kodesh HaKodashim. You know, the nigun is, no, sorry, that's not it. It's on, right? He sang the Kohen Gadol going to the Kodesh Kodashim. I sent my brother right away. FaceTime 3 minutes later. We're looking at each other. He's in New York, I'm in Israel. We look at each other just like this. And we both say, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And we both said, wow, it really is so. The Kohen Gadol really went into he really did go into the Kodesh Kodashim on Yom Kippur and brought all of Am Yisrael with him in his heart. And then when I realized that, when I am sure, when I'm certain that it really did happen, and that it really is still happening, nothing's the same. Nothing is the same. So now, I better be hearing from each of you after Shir asking for that audio. Then I'm already putting hands in, it's like, duh, of course. It really is so. So anyway, to get to that level, that's just a gift from Shemaim. It's not because of any merits. It's the gift from Shemaim. So anyway, so the whole point is that when you say Arachman Zilano, Avodas based on English Makoma, when you say it, you're really saying, yeah, it really is so. There's no such thing as a tefillas shav. There's no such thing as a prayer that goes nowhere. No such thing. Chas v'shalom. So having said all that, we're going to go deep into Reb Shlomo's words of him explaining to us why we say that prayer. Not really that prayer, but more like a statement, almost, right after we bench Sfira. God bless you. God bless you means also it really is so. You know that? People say when someone sneezes, it means it really is so. Sneeze on it. It really is so. All right, let's try to do as fast as we can. Did it get to the back? Not yet? That's exactly your question. All right. Okay, here we go. Reb Shlomo says like this. After we count the Omer, we say something awesome. Harachaman hu yachzir lanu avodas beis hamikdash li mekoma b'mehera b'yameinu. What exactly are we asking for? So here, friends, let's go very, very deep. There are 7 weeks of the Omer. The first week is about love. The second week is about strength. The third week is beauty. The fourth week is endurance or eternity, depending how you look at it. Then comes Hod, which is Baruch Hashem, B'Sha'at Tova U'Mutzlachat, where we are right now. And then comes Hod, which means the shining of my traits. To me, this was a chiddush. I never heard anyone call Hod the shining of my traits. Look how he explains this. I can love somebody, but there's no shine in that love. I can be strong, but it isn't shining in me. So every night of the sphere of Hod, what we're doing is like, I don't want to say, I didn't have Margaret, so I don't want to say what tonight is, but let's just look at yesterday with Chesed Shabbat. So I'm saying, I don't want to just do mitzvahs and tune into my Chesed. I want my mitzvah, I want the Chesed in my mitzvahs to actually shine in the world. I want them to have a ray of light coming out of it. And not just do them because that's the right thing to do. I want them to be a shine on it. Then comes Yesod, foundation. Everything in the world, if it has no foundation, if it's not very deep, he says, do you know what a foundation is? Anything which can be seen is not the foundation. The foundation is that deep thing which cannot be seen. I know we're jumping already, but this is already good to put it out there. If my belief in God can be seen, then it might be very holy, but it's not the foundation. Then comes Malchus, kingdom. A king tells me what to do and I listen to him. The Gemara says, who's a king? Someone who can first rule over himself. So you see what it is. If my emotions are completely in harmony, then I know exactly what to do and when to do it. In essence, we are becoming the masters of time and space during the Omer. So he's really giving you a clear-cut, like, bird's eye view of the whole period, saying the goal is that by the end, my characteristic traits are all in order, they're all complementing each other, they're all in harmony with each other, but the bottom line is Malchus, even though that's the lowest, right? But that's also, we know, for us, that's our tafkid. We're in this world. Malchus is the one that's here in this world with us. The job is that I have to be a king over myself. I'm now free to be a king over myself. As a slave, I'm not a king over myself. Although according to Viktor Frankl, you that's actually the only thing that you could do, is to be a king over yourself, even in slavery, but that's not for now. Now listen to this. Now, this is so funny. At one time, I taught this sweet boy how to put on tefillin, but I forgot two things. I didn't tell him that you put on tefillin during the day, and I also thought he knew that you don't put on tefillin in the bathroom. So one night I called him up at 9 o'clock at night, and I wanted to know how he's doing. He says, Rabbi, you'll never guess what I'm doing. My parents are watching television all night, so I'm in the bathroom putting on tefillin because it's quiet in here. You know, friend, I just want to say, like, any other rabbi that would, hear such a story would go off and saying, look at the dangers of kiruv. You could end up, in such a, look, a guy putting on tefillin at night in a bathroom. Now, we're not advocating that for 1 second. But if Shlomo says it's cute and beautiful, meaning he's saying, yes, let's give out. Like, nice, what are we going to kill him? Who knows what else he was doing every night, Who knows what he was doing in other places, in bathrooms and other places every night. So one night he's that's putting on tefillin in a bathroom, it should, alavai, he should go to hell for putting on tefillin in a bathroom at night, right? That should be the reason. But he says here, it's cute and beautiful, but never. It's not the right time, and it's not the right space. Now, get out of halachic heads right now for a second, in terms of the way that we understand a certain thing right now. When I say to you that this is a story of our life, I don't mean, look at us, we all get up late and miss Kriyas Shema and Zman. That's probably true, but that's not what we're talking. That's not what I mean over here. On an emotional level, Kohelet was mamish right on. Et lehov, et lisno, et milchama, et shalom. There really is a time for everything. There's a time for everything. If you need to connect to the birds, the way that they sing that song, just tune into there. There's a sweet harmony in that song. There's something so precious in understanding that there's a time for everything. And all year long, I'm ki'idu, so to speak, involved in holy things, but I'm putting on tefillin at night in the bathroom, meaning that I'm not doing things in the right time and in the right space. My order's off. When it's time for a certain something, I'm not there. And then when I'm ready for it, it's not the time for it. So look what he says here in the next paragraph. And this is what I'm asking of God once I count my days. Please, God, bring back the service of the temple to the right place. Now he's saying here, TIKKUN HaMakom, this amazing thing. He's saying, we could have just said, but we add a word. What's that word? Limkoma. Please restore the service of the temple to its place. So you could go, I just want to say Pashat Pshat on this. You could say, the Shlomo once said, if Yidden, when they were sent into Galus, into exile, stood in protest before Hashem and said, sorry, we're not building any little shuls or schools to make us feel less homeless while we're in the exile, until you bring us back and build the Beis HaMikdash, maybe something could have happened. But because we got so accustomed to making ourselves feel less homeless, so we forgot the preciousness of limkoma. Do you realize that right now on a space level, our space level is really desecrated by and this is not the time to get into a political understanding of things. On a space level, the place where it's, the Har HaBayis, the Makom HaMikdash was called Cheder HaMitos. Kodesh Kodashim was called like God's bedroom. There's so much hatred in God's bedroom. There's so much Chil Hashem. There's so many sad things going on on a makom level. So when we say on a one pshat is I'm not going to be satisfied with cute and sometimes very big shuls and schools all over the world. I'm not going to be satisfied with it. I remember one time I did such a boo-boo. But there's no other way you could learn about life and people. I went out to do a concert in some community in the States, and they're showing me the Jewish neighborhood before Shabbos, and they're showing me this building and that building, and then they're so excited to show me this huge, monstrous building, a brand new shul. That imported, I'm sorry, this is probably going to offend everyone, but that means it's a good sign, you're doing something good in the world. They imported, it was a whole huge building fully imported with Jerusalem stone. And he says, look at this. And then like a minute later, he says, why are you crying? What's wrong with you? He says to me, and I should have held back. I said to him, for a second, I was sure we're in like Babylon 1800 years ago. I could have sworn that we're in Babylon 1800 years ago right now. What do you mean? We're back home in Yerushalayim. We're back home. So on a space level, we're still confused. We're not really sure. And last week we learned, but it's a beautiful opportunity right now to embrace the fact that I want so badly to know the secret of space. I want to know what it means to be everything in its right place right now. By the way, you think right now, if we had full access to Har HaBayit, the way Am Yisrael is right now, everything would be a beautiful geschäft? Hashem yishmor otanu. Let's just be real about where things are at. Okay? Ha beha, in Gemara they say, Ha beha talia. Each depend on each other. You know what? We had something higher than Har HaBayit. It's called Beis HaMikdash. We had it twice already. And we saw that we had the possibility of the sanctity of space. And we still have to work on what it means to know, Da lifnei mi ata omed, know before who you're standing. Okay. Well, I've never been more politically correct in my life, like right now. Okay. They don't teach you that in Rabbanas. Okay. Okay, so again, and this is what I'm asking of God. Once I count my days, please, God, bring back the service of the temple to the right place. Lim koma. You see what it is? While we're fixing our hearts and our souls, everything is falling into the right place. All the spheres, all the work I do every single night, everything's going into the right departments of my heart and my soul. Everything has to have its place. So while I'm counting the Omer, I have to say, Ribbono Shlomo, I'm getting ready for the Beis HaMikdash. I'm getting ready to serve you at the right place at the right time. By the way, lim koma, space, that's the concept of space. And then the concept of time is bimhira b'yameinu. Now that doesn't mean, I just want to make sure I make a clear statement, because I don't want to go back to what we said in the beginning. Bimhira b'yameinu doesn't mean, one day it should be soon in our days. Reb Shlomo said bimhira b'yameinu means speedily with our days, meaning with what I have right now. That is the time we're speaking about, not one day. That was good for 2,000 years. It's not good anymore. With our days, with what I have right now, with what you've given me, Zeh hayom asa Hashem, what you gave me right now, that should be what should bring the great day. Now, Reb Shlomo says like this. When I'm putting on tefillin, I don't say to God, bring me back to the Beis HaMikdash. But when I count my days, I say, please God, take me back to the Holy Temple, because the biggest fixing of the Holy Temple is all about knowing the secret of time and space. So I want to speak about this for a second. When I ask you, what do you think it felt like to have Beis HaMikdash? What are some of the things that we have said since we're little children? Come on, don't be shy. There's no wrong answer. It is whatever we thought, whatever we were told. What does it mean? What do you guys think it means? What was it like in the Beis HaMikdash? All the time. Okay, now get more specific. Tachlis, what did that feel like? Okay, help her.
Beautiful in the Gashmet and the Chania.
Tachlis, no? Must not like literally. What was like? What was I like? What did it feel like? Wow. How did I walk in? How did I walk out? You know. Excited. Definitely. I sure hope so. What else? Everyone's it's so funny when I ask sometimes these questions. Everyone's thinking that I'm waiting for someone to blow us all away with the deepest answer no one ever heard. We felt excited, yeah. Hopefully we felt excited, huh? Oh, hopefully, definitely. If you saw fire coming down from heaven. Say that again?
It's not childish enough.
Our emunah was automatic. Is a child's emunah automatic?
Yeah.
Innocent. Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that. Nameless. No, I'll definitely take that. Definitely, our emunah was more innocent. By the way, remember 2 years ago we did a whole shir on that the avodah of Sfirat Omer is to fully absorb one word. Usfartem lachem erchot Shabbat. You're supposed to count for yourselves Sheva Shabbatot, 7 weeks tmimot, to regain innocence. That we learned 2 years ago. The whole avodah of Sfirat Omer is to become pure and innocent again. So I'll definitely take the feeling was innocence, like a child's innocence. What else did it feel like?
Love.
What's that?
A lot of love.
A lot of love. A lot of love. Definitely a lot of love. What else?
We didn't have any confusion.
Ah, okay. So this is very big. This is very big. What's the other word for we didn't have confusion? Clarity, right. So we had clarity. Okay. This is what I wanted to talk about right now. We learn in the Soul of Jerusalem something very, very beautiful. There's a concept in the book, The Soul of Yerushalayim. Rabbi Shlomo said in the Beis Hamikdash there was a concept called He'arat Haratzon, which means that the Ratzon was enlightened. The will was enlightened. What does that mean? The will was enlightened. It means I knew what God wanted of me, and I knew what I wanted of God. How often when we stand before HaKadosh Baruch Hu and daven, do we have no clue what we actually really want from God? And how often when we come before a mitzvah, do we actually know that I have no idea? Have you ever said the words, I have no idea what you want on me? Every day. So the Beis Hamikdash was a place, Reb Shlomo said that when you walked in lost, you walked out found. If I ever have to write a mission statement for our shul, that's the only thing I'd write in there. I'm not kidding. It's the only thing I'd write. This is a place where you come in lost, you walk out found. There was a sense of time and space. I knew where I was on both a physical, on a time level, and on a space level. There was a clarity. I didn't walk around lost. That to me, I'm sorry if you picked up on that. That to me is the greatest gift, to spend one day in this world found. Imagine spending one day in this world where you have a sense of that you know where you are, and you know where you are on the calendar as well. You really know where you are. You know what you want from people. You know what you want from your spouse. You know what you want from yourself. You know what you want from God. You know what God wants of you. Bottom paragraph. And here, let me ask you something very strong. Now here, wow, this is so beautiful. Ashreinu shezachinu lilmod Torah from such a holy Rebbe, the coolest Rebbe that ever lived. Look at this. And here, let me ask you something very strange. He's just the best. Look what he says here. What was the depths of the Avera when it came to making the golden calf? Meaning, what was it? What was so bad? Like, what was really not just the pshat that we know. Now he's saying, I'm going to push your buttons down. What was so bad about it? Look what he says here. We simply didn't know that we're not in Egypt anymore. In Egypt, you make a golden calf. After Mount Sinai, how can you make a golden calf? And at the risk of sounding really not politically correct right now, for 2,000 years in exile, certain things I could understand how we came to. in terms of the hatred that might have existed amongst different groups of Yidden. We're back after 2,000 years, and we're still building golden calves of division and hatred amongst Yidden. We don't know where we are. We don't know where we are. We don't know where we physically are. We have no idea. We have no idea where we are. Because if we knew where we are, that we're in Yerushalayim, we're in Eretz Yisrael, there's no chance. There's no chance that what half of the stuff that's happening could happen. We just don't know. In Egypt, you make a golden calf. After Mount Sinai, how can you make a golden calf? So look what he says here. Of course it was forbidden, meaning of course that's wrong. Of course it's usher to do idol worship. But that's not what was so bad about the whole scene. He says so beautifully. Imagine you meet your best friend and you start talking Lashon Hara about another person, right? Forget about the fact that it's forbidden. Of course Lashon Hara is forbidden. Right now, you meet your best friend. This is the time to talk evil about another person? Not now. And now he says here's something funny. I'll explain it, hopefully. You want to talk Lashon Hara? Talk at another time. He's not saying... What he's saying is that when you really live in the moment and you know where you are and you say, it's okay, I'll just do this bad thing later, guess what happens? You forget, the desire is gone. The lust to do it is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because you've embraced the space that you're in and the time that you're at. And suddenly you're not worried that maybe I'll fail later in this area. You embrace the concept of time and space. Later? Who's later? Every moment is netzach. Every moment is forever. So why is it that we would forget where we are so easily? I love these million-dollar questions, which rarely have clear answers to them, but at least we put the question there. Again, why is it that we forget where we are so easily? Because we don't know the secret of time, that Shlomo says. The secret of time and the secret of space, mamish, mirror each other. And here, I want you to pay close attention to the words now. And if you don't have a text in front of you, just close your eyes and listen to the words. Everyone knows we receive a certain light when we're born. You think God just takes it away from us and we just end up dying? Can't be. We receive light every second. Like, for instance, right now, the fact that you and I are sitting at a table in Yerushalayim in May of 2015 on a Sunday night is only because, whether we realize it or not, our souls have tapped into today's light that exists just today, that never existed before, even if you've been coming here every single day. He says every single day things have, the light's coming down. So he says again, we receive light every second, but our mistakes and failures are because I don't think there's anything new being created in me. He's saying an amazing thing here. Every mistake I make and everything that I fail in come from one thing. I don't believe in the words I say in davening every day. HaMechadesh betuvo bechol yom tamid maaseh bereshit. You know what I love doing when we do these learnings? I love walking out with one bracha to focus on the next day. Like the last 2 weeks, we've been looking at the 2 brachas in Birkat HaShachar. One bracha to really just stop and realize I've been saying it every day and I have no idea what I'm saying is Sha'asa li kol tzarki. That was one of the brachas. And 2 weeks ago was another bracha we focused on, which was what? Ozer Yisrael bigvura. You surround Am Yisrael with a certain strength, the strength of being a Jewish hero who knows how to conquer his evil inclination. Today, from right now, your homework assignment for Shacharis, which means you have to daven. No, you don't have to do anything, but you should daven because you're a Yid. That's what we do. Yeah. Just take tomorrow morning, take the words. HaMechadesh betuvo bechol yom tamid maaseh bereshit. God, you renew and you recreate in your utmost infinite kindness the act of creation every single day. What does that mean? So Rabbi Shlomo just said, if I believed that renewal is happening every day. I'm scared to say this, but he's saying if I really, really believed that, it's almost like he says, almost all our failures and mistakes wouldn't happen. They stem from the fact that I don't believe that right now is brand new, that today is new. I know you, I saw you, we've sat like this before. We've learned a similar piece. I've done Sfirat Omer already. I already learned Parshat Dahar 30, 40 times in my life. What's new about it? So look what he says here. We receive light every second, but our mistakes and failures are because I don't think there's anything new being created in me. And so, I'm just in the middle of life. So now, look what he does with this. Between Pesach and Shavuos, we are learning the awesomeness of every day and every minute by making every minute and every day count. This is why I asked God to take us back to the Holy Temple when I count Sphira. Because when I learn the holiness of receiving light every second, my place in this world begins to become clear to me. I'm less lost in this world when every moment in my life counts. It's right now, what is it, 8 p.m.? 8:30, almost 8:30 p.m.? Now we've done this before many times, but it's an important exercise to do. We've been awake for how many hours? You don't have to say. It might be embarrassing because you might have partied hard last night and woke up at 3 p.m. But some of us have been up since God knows what time. I don't remember, right? God bless my children. All our children, right? So how many moments of today counted? Not counted in God's account. Every moment counts in God's account. How many moments in my life today counted for me? When I look back at today, how many moments of today actually meant something? How many moments still exist? How many moments count? And now the scary thing is, let's go back to last Sunday. Let's go back a week. How many moments since we last learned counted? I am in the Beis HaMikdash when every moment counts. And here I want to tell you the most mind-blowing Torah I've heard in so long from Reb Shlomo. The Gemara says, which means if only Am Yisrael would keep 2 Shabboses, we would completely be redeemed. So Reb Shlomo says, what does that mean? We kept more than 2 Shabbos. We've kept a lot of Shabboses. What do you mean that every single Jew keeps Shabbos twice? That's all it's going to take, and then afterwards, it's everyone will do whatever they want. Listen to what he said. We learned it on Shabbos. It's amazing. I receive so many moments on Shabbos, so much Kedusha. And Gevat, do I lose that during the week? Going through another week of Mishigas. If I was only able to hold on to all the moments I had on Shabbos and have them untouched until the next Shabbos, and I bring last Shabbos, the purity and completeness of it into the next Shabbos, and I would create a Yom Shekulo Shabbos for one whole week, that would bring the Geula. I thought it was one of the most mind-boggling Torahs I ever heard in my life. That if I don't have to rebuild myself 5 million times over again by next Shabbos, and I bring with me a full week, the concept of time, humanly speaking, a full week of creation filled with meaning into the next Shabbos, which is Mashiach already, from like Yom Shabbos is Mashiach, Yom Shekulo Shabbos, right? From one Shabbos to the next Shabbos, filled with just oneness and all the beauty that I had, oh my God. It'd bring Geula right away. But what's so important, Chevra, about believing in the recreation, in the renewal of the hitchadshut of life? Look at the next paragraph. If we would treat each other as if we were just created right now, we wouldn't hate each other. You wouldn't be capable of hating each other. Why? Because I always hate you for something you did yesterday. Why will we suddenly begin to love each other when Mashiach is coming? Well, if I look at every person as if they were just created right now, so okay, you did something wrong yesterday, but who cares? Right now, you're a new person. Now, You can look at this last paragraph and be like, dream on, cheeseball. These, come on. Are you kidding me? Who lives like this? The man that said these words lived like this. He could have given up on almost everyone that surrounded him 5 million times, but he believed that they were being recreated every moment. This is classic Reb Nachman Zazanra teaching, number 282 in Likutei Moharan, that when you walk the streets of the world looking at someone as if all I see is who you are right now, you know what happens? Despite, no matter how dirty and low they were yesterday, you elevate them to the way that you see them. You mamish elevate them. What's so hard for so many addicts? That they really, and it's not chas v'shalom their fault, they or the societies that they're in do not believe that yesterday was yesterday and today is today. Like we've said so many times, they're defined by their yesterdays. And when I say addicts, by the way, you're all thinking about that one person you might know, a cousin. I'm talking about you and me. God should bless us, Reb Shlomo says. We should be masters of time, masters of counting, masters of knowing where we're going and where we're coming from. Like we say in Pirkei Avos, Da me'ayin bata ule'an ata olech, right? And even more than that, God should give us strength to count. This is so beautiful. What does it mean, strength? Why do I need strength to count? Friends, listen to this. Do you know how much koach you need in order to acknowledge what's going on in your life right now? You know how much strength you need? You know how much koach you need to count? If we did Sfirat Omer properly, you know what that means? I need so much strength to establish that what's going on right now in my life never happened before and never will happen again. That's not a simple, weak thing to get to. That's incredible. It's Mashiach. It's unbelievable. So he says Hashem should give us koach. You need koach. You need strength to count the moments. To have today count takes a lot of strength. For us, if I ask you next Sunday night, which is a beautiful plug to make sure I see you all next Sunday night, right? Or every day in the yeshiva, right? For that matter. But if I say to you, like, I want us all to show up next week, gathered with all the moments that we've had, that we'll have from now till next Sunday, do you know how much koach you need? You know how strong you have to be? You know what's the saddest thing in the world? When parents never count the moments of their children. Meaning that it's about getting through the day and making sure they did good parenting, as opposed to being alive, watching the show as it's happening and being blown away by each moment. You know, I think if we put in more interest in being in the now, then all the other work we think we have to do on ourselves would naturally and organically take place. Kind of like what he said about, you want to talk Lashon Hara with someone, it's not the time now. Talk about it later, right? Well, and then what happens later? You're a new person already by later. This new person doesn't want to talk. I'll never forget this. The first time my heart broke completely open to Rav Soloveitchik, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, was when we learned his explanation of what davening is. He said, davening doesn't mean that God changes his mind. Like Rabbi Aaron says, you don't daven in order for God to change his mind. You don't want God, the master of perfection, to change his mind. That's what we're usually busy doing with davening, right? That's ludicrous. Rabbi Soloveitchik said, it's not God who changes in prayer. It's man who changes in prayer. And when God sees that man has gone through a self-nullification through prayer, the verdict which was applicable to him is not applicable to him anymore, because the man has changed. You've gone somewhere else. You're not in that place anymore. That's the whole secret of prayer. So God should give us strength to count. And when that happens, we should know what he wants of us and what we want of him. We should know exactly what's going on in heaven and in earth right this minute. And then he ends up so strong, like only he could. We should be privileged to know what's going on inside of ourselves right this minute. Do you even understand what's happening to you right now, this second? So don't worry about tomorrow morning. You'll get there when you daven. You'll get there when you daven, but right now, zvu machar, it's not here. The Shlomo says the real simcha comes to the Zehayom people. Zehayom asa Hashem. All I have right now is Hayom. Nagila v'nismachabo. Therefore, I could actually experience happiness when I actually am tuned into the only thing which I have anyway right now, which is now. But now's new. Now's not old. Like, it won't help me if I'm tuned into now, but I think that now is the 30 years of baggage that I've been that I've been schlepping in a knapsack. So Hashem Yisbarach should have infinite Rahmanis on us to be able to say, like, this teaching is still on the level of as a prayer, as a bakasha. Well, I feel like that's why I wanted to end with what the Rebbe said, but again, to remind us, and the Rebbe says, all of this is not a prayer. He's saying that when your moments count in life, you're certain that the Beis HaMikdash will come back right now with our days. Harachaman hu yachzir, yachzir is Lashon Tzivui. Yachzir, he will give back. Not Bezrat Hashem, Alavai B'vakasha, Tachzir. Yachzir is certainty. It's complete conviction that it will happen. So just like the Baal Shem Tov's Chiddush was, it really is so. The secret we learn from counting our moments in life is that it really is so. Like, this is real. What we're feeling, this is all real. And any question and doubt you have about yourself comes from the fact that you don't believe that what's happening now is new. So alavai, bischut, the hitchachut we receive. And like during midterms, midterms of Sfira is always Pesach Sheni, the week of Pesach Sheni, Lag BaOmer. If there was ever a time to tune into hitchachut, to renewal, Pesach Sheni, the holiday of second chances, and the light of the Or Shiva Seyam, the Tzaddik, B'Shimon Bar Yochai, these days contain within it such infinite, eternal, messianic light. And it shouldn't frighten us, we should feel at home with it. And Hashem should have the ultimate Rahmanis on us and on our families to just really count the moments, count the days, because then I could also say Na'aseh v'Nishma with utmost conviction too. Like, I could stand before Hashem and Shavuos and say, your decision to give me the Torah, not that you need me to justify it, but I'm going to justify it. It's right. It's mamish right. It really is so. It really, really is right. All right, thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you next Sunday night. And I only have one flag here, but I'll send it out here. We're going to have a really special night, the night before Shavuos, in the Israel Center. There's a flyer here for we're going to have a concert on the Thursday night before Shavuos. On, May 21st. Thursday, May 21st. A special night. We're going to take all the Torahs we're learning and wrap a bunch of nigunim on them and just dance our way to Har Sinai like that. That's Hashem. All right, thank you so much for coming.
All right.
Sure.
Why not?
Might as well. Might as well. Baruch Hashem. Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. Mamash. There's no other way. Other way is not living. It's just an illusion. Sorry?
I think you know second paragraph. We were talking about how when we like to Mekadesh